You're listening to the Footglish Podcast. Love football, learn English. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Arsenal 1. How big is this win for Arsenal? Did Michael Oliver make a mistake by sending off Lewis-Skelly, or is this red card justified? Is Arsenal still in the title race? And what does the word emerging mean? Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Footglish Podcast. My name is Denek Lukas and I'm your host. I'm an English teacher and the Footglish Podcast is a podcast about football. Yes, you guessed it. And it's for learners of English. And you might be wondering, what the hell's Denek? What's all this background noise? Well, I'm in Vietnam and I'm walking because I've just seen the Arsenal Wolves game, which Arsenal managed to win 1-0. And I've just seen it with my friend Nrup, who you may have seen on this podcast before or heard on this podcast before. Nrup, what are you doing in Vietnam, man?
Oh no, I just teleported, mate. I'm sorry, guys. I just woke up and I'm like, okay, I'm in Vietnam. Guess what I should do? I should be meeting someone who's called Zdenek. But yeah, I am in Vietnam, surprisingly, and in the same city where Zdenek lives, that is Da Nang. And yeah,
that's right, yeah.
I'm over here for vacation with my family, and luckily I was able to have Da Nang among my travel destinations. And the moment I found it out, I immediately texted Zdenek. I'm like, look, I'm coming to Da Nang, let's meet, because it's been lots of years.
Yeah.
And
it's been like 2 years since
mate.
Maybe 2.5 years since I saw you last time.
Yeah.
So obviously we are friends. We have been friends for a while, but also you have featured a lot on my YouTube channel. We do another show called Heroes of the Week, and we do it every Monday now.
Yeah, every Monday.
So you guys can watch it. It's actually not this podcast. It's a different thing, and we do it with Nrup. But Nrup has also been on this podcast before a few times to talk about Arsenal. We are actually wearing Arsenal shirts. So what's this one? Describe your Arsenal shirt.
Well, the Arsenal shirt that I'm wearing is the third kit from last season.
Okay.
I got it because it was our first UCL season in years.
Right.
So it meant a lot to me, and It looks really good. So I wore that, and also I wanted to because I was eventually planning to meet you. So, as an Arsenal fan. Yeah. I think it would be like friendship goals to wear the same club together and just walk around, hang around, probably watch a match, which we just did.
I think we are quite lucky to actually have a match, because I know you have your itinerary with your family here, and so you get to see different cities and you travel around a lot and do a lot of sightseeing. So it's actually kind of nice that you managed to squeeze in this game, even though, well, we're going to talk about this game because I think that's what our listeners are interested in the most. Even though we have to say this game was quite mad, right?
It was mad. Apart from us meeting and us watching the game together in a country, Vietnam, not Czech Republic, not India, not UK, but Vietnam.
Yeah.
What more can it get? So we ended up watching a football game together in Vietnam.
In a Vietnamese sort of, what is
commentary.
it? Restaurant? Was it like a restaurant?
Yeah, it was a Vietnamese restaurant and we requested the restaurant to stream the game for us.
Because there was a big screen, basically.
Exactly.
And I knew this place. I was hoping it would still be there, the screen, because last time I went there was like 7 months ago, and things happen quickly here in Vietnam. It's a fast developing country, and specifically here in Da Nang, you have like things built so quickly. They're literally mushrooming these places. So sometimes it disappears and something else is created instead, So I was happy to see that it still was there, this place. And we were a little bit late. I think we were 10 minutes late.
We were, but I think it's okay. We were able to have some small little adventure for 10 minutes. And then, we finally were able to stream the game. And we were watching it, and here we are, after the game, talking about the game that happened.
On the Footglish Podcast.
Footglish Podcast.
Exactly. So what did you make of the game then? So we won 1-0, 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's
We
a
won
classic
1-0.
line, right?
Yeah, it was a classic Arsenal win. We didn't score much goals. We had a nice clean sheet, but that was a wild game. Why? Because we had two incidents,
Yeah,
two key incidents that probably changed the whole game.
absolutely.
And those two incidents were based on two cards, and
Yeah.
both cards were of the same color. And the color was the color of Arsenal.
I like the way you are building it up, Nrup.
The color is Arsenal.
Do you have a script for that, or is it just coming from you?
It's just coming from me.
Are you improvising?
I am. It's just Peter Drury's ghost is
Have you been
haunting me.
Have you been boosted by the Vietnamese bee a little bit? Or?
I've been blessed by Peter Drury for a while. If the listeners know who is he, he's one of the elite commentators of the game. You guys should listen to him. He speaks beautiful English, beautiful commentary, and almost poetic to the point where it sounds like mythological.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting to that, two red cards.
So the first one was Arsenal red card.
Yeah.
It was one of our youngsters, right?
It was unfortunately one of the emerging youngsters, Myles Lewis-Skelly,
Yeah.
an academy graduate.
But that red card, I thought, was a referee mistake, in my opinion. It should have been a yellow, because I don't know how to describe it, but basically there was a counter-attack from Wolves. And yes, he kicked, Skelly kicked the Wolves player, who was like approaching the goal, but he was in their own half. And there were other players who were in front of him, other Arsenal players.
And he wasn't even the last defender, basically.
Yeah, he wasn't even the last.
And it wasn't even a goal-scoring opportunity.
Absolutely. So, this means that the ref thought that this was a violent conduct. But there was no way, if you looked at the replays, this was no way a violent conduct, in my opinion. It was violent, but it wasn't a red offense. You know.
I mean, who was the ref? You know, tell me who was the ref.
Well,
the name speaks it.
Mike Oliver, right?
Simple.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is our common hero of the week, villain of the week, right? We always, not always, but he has been a villain of the week at least once.
Yeah, he is. He's our special customer, basically. we love him. We always welcome him. He always gives us some nice gifts in the form of cards.
But actually, we had to be careful, listeners. We're in the middle of the road recording the Footglish Podcast, and we are in Vietnam. A lot of motorbikes everywhere. So, thankfully, we are alive. But moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So, yeah, he gave a red card to something that was supposed to be yellow.
It was a straight red.
Yeah, it was a straight red, apparently.
So that player will be also suspended for, I think, is it how many games?
At least two.
2 games, right, or something. But that's not
let's see.
nice.
Let's see. It all depends on if we appeal for it or not. Well, most likely, there is a very little chance for us to get our appeal back.
I don't think we win an appeal.
But anyway,
The thing is, I think the ref was a bit guilty, because then in the second half, he also showed a red to a Wolves player.
well, he actually showed a yellow, which in turn became a red because
It was a second, yeah.
it was a second.
But that one, to me, looked like a red. actually.
Exactly.
So I was waiting for VAR to change it to red. He had already gone to the showers. I was telling you, remember, I was telling you in the pub, Nrup, I think they're going to ask that player to come back from the showers and to see that red card. But
I was waiting for that funny moment, but I guess he just wants to embarrass Arsenal and no one else. So
exactly.
yeah, well, we all know the target. But anyway, second yellow to Wolves player. He was sent off, and we were back to equal number of players and equal amount of strategy.
Because it was hard, because of course we played for so long down to 10 men.
Yeah.
And I don't know how about you, but I didn't see us winning that game at that point, because we seemed a bit knackered.
We did. I mean,
we haven't been at our best. We haven't been really scoring many goals lately.
We haven't had the best players as well.
So,
we don't have the best combination.
The players are injured, like Saka.
Yeah.
So I didn't know where the goal would come from, especially down to 10 men.
Exactly. I was expecting a penalty or probably a corner goal from
right?
Gabriel.
Like we always do.
Yeah, we always do.
But basically, this really helped us, right? This changed the dynamic of the game.
Absolutely, and I was really positive the moment we got red card. The moment Wolves got red card, I was really positive. I'm like, okay, this is the best opportunity for us to score.
Yeah.
And guess what? We just did.
We did, like soon after that.
Soon after that,
So who was our goal scorer?
it was our Italian champion, Calafiori.
Was it his first goal?
I don't think so. It was definitely more than one goal. But
he doesn't always score, so he's like a rare scorer.
He scored a very important goal for us, and especially in a time where our attack hasn't been at its best or even good enough.
Yeah.
It's always usually defenders who have been saving our jobs.
Exactly. So that's, it makes this podcast recording obviously nicer for us. We would have probably recorded something, even if it had been a draw. But to be fair, it's more fun, right?
It is.
When the team you support wins.
Yeah, and especially when we meet each other in such area, in such event, and we watch it together, we were always like everything's to happen in a good way. So all's well that ends well.
Basically, we know each other from the Czech Republic because you were studying there.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. So that's when we used to watch some games as well, some Arsenal games. But it's been a while since we did that. And we do talk about football a lot online and on the YouTube channel, as I said, but it's not the same. It's nice to finally get the chance to watch a game like that together. Not the best game, to be honest. It might have been nicer if it was like Liverpool, Chelsea, one of those bigger clubs.
Yeah.
It was Wolves. But at least there was some drama in the game, right?
I agree with you. It wasn't one of those blockbuster games, but it was one of those games where, if you look at the current situation, we weren't expecting Arsenal to thrash them or get an easy win. Yeah. We were expecting Arsenal to, somehow manage through it, and that's what happened. And we are happy with it because we move on. We take all the points. We take clean sheet. And unfortunately, we lose a player, but we move on.
Exactly.
On to the next game.
Exactly. Yeah. So great stuff. Now, unfortunately, Liverpool won 4-1 against Ipswich at home. 4-1. So that didn't help us. Liverpool are still top of the league, and they look like they are very comfortable at the moment.
They are. I mean, not only just the points, even the goal differences. If you look at it, that's another mountain to climb because we need to score lots of goals. We have been one of the better teams, or one of the best teams when it comes to defense, considering the amount of goals that we are considered. But we need to catch up with the points. We need to catch up with the goal difference, and I don't think it's helping us. We need players that can immediately score lots of goals so that we can manage to catch up with the goal differences, to put on pressure on Liverpool, and this pressure might cause Liverpool to actually drop more points. But again, we're still early or halfway, or it's still halfway in the league, so there's lots to cover. Anything can happen until the last day.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
The race is still on.
Yeah, the race is on. Very, very well said. I think we were also checking, as we were watching the game, we were checking the other results like on a live score app, right? And one thing that really stood out for me there, one thing that struck me was the way Bournemouth had been dominating Nottingham Forest, because that game ended 5-0.
That's mad. I mean,
Bournemouth.
I mean, first of all, what was Forest's position? They were what, 4th, 5th? So they were already one of the better teams.
They were in third place at some point.
Exactly. And I mean, Bournemouth, on the other hand, they are a powerful force, but they were definitely one of those teams that will fall eventually soon.
Yeah.
Because they have been a relegation battle team. And for them to reach top 6 is a huge achievement. And for them to beat Forest 5-0.
It's just incredible. And now they are above Manchester City. I know City have one game in hand. They're probably not going to win it with their current form. So I cannot believe it, like how well this team has been playing, Bournemouth.
I mean, pressure is on City because City is going to face Chelsea. So, it's actually pressure is on both the teams because Bournemouth and Forest, they're right behind or right above City and Chelsea. Yeah. So they're slowly poking them like, yo, we need some space. Move on.
Is that how they are saying it actually?
Maybe.
Yo.
But
who knows, Who knows? Okay, well, that's incredible. That's fantastic, man. I don't know what to say, but I think this year the Premier League is just so much fun. I'm really having a lot of fun. Despite the fact that my team is not top of the league, it's been fun. We also have one more Czech player in the Premier League, Antonín Kinský, playing for a struggling Tottenham team. You know, Tottenham is going to face Manchester United soon. Is it this week or next week?
I'm not sure about that.
I heard this game is coming. I don't know.
But do you think
those are the two teams? Like, you wouldn't guess at all that they would be so low, so down in the dumps. You know.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he's going to play against United, or do you think it's going to be Onana's day?
I don't know, man. But United and Spurs, they are just. I think if you are a United or Spurs fan now, you don't want to come out. You just want to hide somewhere in the shadows.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, sometime during the halftime or before that, we had a talk with the Vietnamese, and he happened to be a United fan, and we could see some embarrassment that, you know, he was
in his face, and he didn't want to talk to us anymore.
He did not, and he wanted to just hide his face. But yeah, well, it's tough. We have been there. We have
been there. It could happen to us next year. So we are trying to. Obviously, we are enjoying the moment. Like we will not pretend we are enjoying this, but at the same time, let's not go overboard with that.
Yeah, let's be humble, eh?
Let's stay humble. That is a reference to what Haaland said to Arteta. And since he said that, Manchester City has lost almost every single game they played.
Manchester is falling, mate. Manchester is falling.
Well, but Haaland now signed a 9-year contract, right?
Do you mean 115 months? Because that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, really.
That's what they said, like, because it's 9.5 years, which equals to 115 months. So it was quite ironic.
115 months.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine
so
that.
So many people were making fun of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, 10 years means 120 months.
Oh, wow. Why didn't he sign for 10 years? Why did it have to be 9.5 then?
That's the thing. It's either FFP or it's either mocking the board.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's special. They really believe in this player, don't they?
Well, I don't think so, because like.
Why do they do that then?
Because I think it's more marketing and more economic stuff to avoid FFP situation.
Right. What is FFP? Explain it to our listeners. FFP.
Well, it stands for financial fair play.
Yes.
It's basically to avoid clubs overspending and over-exploiting the league using money.
Like a lot of clubs have done in the past.
Definitely.
And now they are maybe facing some repercussions.
But they're just facing it, as in like...
We don't know if...
They're just looking at it. They won't be...
We don't know if they will be actually found guilty.
Exactly.
But some teams have been found guilty and their points have been deducted. Was it Everton, I think?
It was.
Right? It's Leicester and more.
Unfortunate teams have been affected by it. But...
Not the bigger
in the eyes of law, everyone should be equal.
Yeah, even the bigger teams, even the teams that have like a lot of power behind them.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that justice will be done even to Manchester City.
And Chelsea and other teams, if possible.
That is true.
But
Chelsea too, yeah.
Getting back to the game, I mean, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
1-0, 2 red cards.
Yeah, me too. 2 red cards.
Watching the game together, alone.
Good stuff, man.
We were probably the only 2 Arsenal guys watching it. And probably...
to be honest, we were almost the only 2 people in that restaurant. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun. Thank you very
yeah.
much for visiting me, Nrup, and talking to me on the podcast. Even though there is some background noise today, I hope you guys appreciate it. It's not the first one. It's not the first time I've done this. There's no video. I've recorded one with Kirilo after the Czech Republic-Ukraine game, like that. So I think these episodes are special because they give you some sort of extra.
It gives you rawness to the episode.
It's like a different feel, right? Different sort of more authenticity.
Yeah. There's more rawness in the episode, and podcast doesn't have to be always inside doors. You know, it can be in other places. Definitely not in the clubs or in those super noisy places, but
exactly.
Yeah. In simple words, this is one of those interesting themes that you can use for podcast.
Exactly.
But,
wonderful.
I've been happy. I am really glad to see you again, mate.
Yeah.
And
good stuff.
Hope to bump into you in many other parts of the world, and hoping to have a nice world tour potentially, if possible.
We'll see about that, but like I said, thank you very much for coming on as always. And if you want to hear more of Nrup, why don't you tune in for the Heroes of the Week YouTube show that we record every Monday. I don't know if we're gonna do it. I think this Monday probably, because you're traveling, so it won't happen, but maybe Monday after. We will see if you have time. All right, Thank you guys for listening, and until next time, bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. Okay, man. Thanks.
That's fun, huh?
I hope it works.
So this app is really cool because it has lots of...
Welcome back to the Language Corner. In this part of the show, as always, I'm going to teach you something because I'm an English teacher and the Footglish Podcast has this as its tradition, and that's why it's called the Footglish Podcast, right? Football, English. There must be some English, okay? So I assume you guys are English learners, and that's who this podcast is for. Okay. So today I'm going to look at one interesting word. This is what Nrup said. One of the emerging youngsters, Myles Lewis-Skelly, right? He got the red card against Wolves, and I like the word emerging, which is a verb to emerge. Here it's used in its participle form, emerging, right? And yeah, I would like to explain this word now. So what does it mean to emerge? Well, the first meaning is to move out of or away from something and then basically coming into view, right? So let's say you are somewhere on the beach and then you see a shark emerging from the water, right? It emerges, it's coming out into view. You can see it suddenly. But this word is also used a bit more metaphorically, especially when you talk about football players. If you're an emerging youngster, as Nrup said, Lewis-Skelly, I think he's only 18 years old, then it means you are becoming prominent. You are growing and developing and suddenly showing a lot of potential. And you are starting to gain recognition from people or from the media. There are some some synonyms that I could give you. For instance, you could say someone is an up-and-coming star or up-and-coming youngster. Of course, you can say a rising football star. Yeah, a star that is rising is going up, right? Is showing progression and is developing fast. You can say an aspiring prodigy. That's a nice sort of phrase. And then I think everybody knows the word wonderkid, a wonderkid. But that also includes the idea that that player has a lot of skill. He often is a technically gifted player. For example, Florian Wirtz of Bayer Leverkusen is a wonderkid, right? Okay, so emerging. Let's hope this podcast is an emerging podcast, that it's going to show some more signs of promise in the future. It's still very young, and obviously that's why I'm always asking you for your support. This is something that has to be done on this podcast. So yes, this particular podcast, because I recorded it with Nrup outside, there's no video. So I'm still going to upload it on my YouTube channel, and it would be wonderful if you could give this audio, right, a like. It would mean a world to me if you could give this audio a like, or even leave a comment. Leave a comment, and if you're listening to this on your podcasting application as an audio, then what you could do is you could leave a review, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just give this podcast 5 stars, and it should take you about 5 seconds, right? And it will make a difference. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.